Hey everybody, welcome back to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Cockins. And Stuart, we have successfully moved into the future where the Trekyards world is exciting. These ships behind us, except maybe, well, the time traveling one's relatively somewhere there. I don't know. These things are behind us. In the past, we are now in the future of Star Trek ship design, of Federation design, of Alien design, of design in general, Stuart. This should be a golden age for Trekyards. What we're talking about today.
Shit, well, we're 930 years in the future. We're in the year 3188. We're talking about Season 3 of Discovery, of course. And we've got our first ship, our first new ship, in that world, that universe, that time. And that would be Book's ship. Cleveland Booker has a transport ship, a cargo ship, a courier ship, if you will. And we're going to take a look at it today and kind of discuss it and give you our thoughts on it. So...
Yeah, so it was definitely at the start. It's going to be the Millennium Falcon of this show, clearly.
Yes.
We got some pretty... We know what it looks like from the outside, but there's a lot of blurry, zoomy zooms. But we did get a very clear view of the inside, and it was basically the first thing we saw on the screen. So what did you think?
I was very impressed with the interior, actually. I do love the big window with the wraparound thing. The asymmetry of the ship from the outside is interesting as well. But I'm not a huge fan of the design from the outside. Inside, though, it's got a very organic feel. As much as it looks super technological, that rear wall with the wood and just the way the wood is shaped, and it feels like a comfortable environment, and even like a modern day, like super modern apartment. you know, it's a fantastic design, well lit. I love the interfaces that are kind of like the nanites or whatever they are. So we're probably going to learn a lot about this, well, a little about the ship over the course of the season. Maybe it has some cool features and stuff, but it's definitely a cargo type vessel. And like you said, yeah, the Millennium Falcon of Discovery.
Yeah. For me, I mean, it's plain as a design, outside-wise. It's a shape. It's not visibly Star Trek. It's got no recognizable Star Trek elements. It's got no callbacks, call forwards. But it's a future ship that isn't Federation, so why would it? But it's an anything. You know, we have seen sort of similar shaped things in a few sci-fis. It's unmemorable, to say the least. I'm excited to see more of it in general, but not for its designness. The inside was nice. Yeah, so bright is a good word. Definitely felt like, just like a guy's apartment, as in like future sci-fi apartment, because I mean he spends all his time here. The wraparound window felt very Discovery, although that's my biggest peeve of the tech of this episode is that he's using a display interface, as in on the window, those holograms, that looks identical to the USS Discovery one from 900 years earlier. So my question is, why is Book using a 900-year-old computer interface for his view screen window?
Because it's an older ship like the Millennium Falcon, but not that old. I would say maybe 100 years old. I don't know.
No, I think the conceit is that in Discovery, they pushed the level of sci-fi Star Trek technology well past where it should have been in the era, to the point that it was so advanced as a visual reboot that Picard, which was then in the future, looked exactly the same technologically as Discovery, which was 300 years earlier, 200 years. And now this, 900 years earlier, looks identical again. So it looks, and that's all I thought, it looks even the same color palette. It's like, why is he using the exact, because you can't go much more in the future. Like, the controls he's using are a futuristic thing, but I know if it's broke, don't fix it. Fine, it's not broke. But it looks identical to the thing you just left in the past. And if you watch it back to back with Season 2, and if you didn't tell them you're going to the future, if you told an audience member, here's two scenes through a wormhole in space, you would not say this stuff was future to as Alien. So that is definitely a flaw in their production design.
Yeah. Well, that being said, I'm looking at the view screen right now where he's talking to Cosmos. Great name. Not really. And is it a Uridian? We'll have to talk about that at some point. It looks kind of Uridian-ish. But looking at him on the view screen, it definitely has like nanites in the view screen, and it's like a 3D projection of the guy's face. Like the nanites are creating his face, it feels like. So that's unique. I don't know if it's necessarily more futuristic than holograms. It does have the overlay around it, which is very similar to Discovery for sure. But yeah, there's some nanite stuff going on there, which brings the 3D view screens that we see in Star Trek in general, even in TNG and stuff, to a new level as far as the nanites producing the face of the person you're talking to. Kind of neat. So,
But since we already had real-time communication holograms in Discovery,
yes,
that can walk and talk and even sit down on chairs, I mean, it just felt like an alien I mean, that's the thing. It doesn't feel advanced at all. It's just another gimmick. And in fact, it feels cluttered the way the face comes out. It's like, why is this necessary? You know, it's an idea without any real basis of whatever except cool. But I mean, Discovery's always been about cool rather than linking to Star Trek or universe making sense or whatever. And the way he uses the interfaces is fun, although I would still argue that, you know, as things are coming up to meet his hands, they're kind of nanite. That's less advanced than a hologram, because a hologram is a real-time energy being projected and kept in a sense of sort of stasis that you can physically touch. That's light energy. This is matter that's moving to match you. It's less advanced. Actually, while it looks cooler, it actually feels less advanced to me than holograms. But what can they do? They've already broken the technological barrier. Now, if this looked like Discovery, because then, you know, the Relativity used LCARs. It was the evolution of the same tech, so it felt like a slightly sleeker LCARs, same interface, because, you know, it was a computer. Computers, you know, whatever. This was like Discovery again. If this had been the first time we saw it, like, oh, it looks, even having the, you know what, even having the window view screen, I would be fine now in the 312088 because I'd be like
3188.
So I'd be like, oh, that entire surface is actually a view screen, but it's also fully see-through metal. You know, like I would love it here if they first introduced it, and it being so broad and open. It was like, oh wow, yeah, the entire front of the ship is a see-through metal. That's pretty cool. But it feels like Discovery again. So this is the future, but it doesn't feel like it now. And his chair is trying to be futuristic. It's a classic Star Trek Starfleet back and a light on it.
Mm-hmm. Lights are important. They mean future. It is a unique shape. I do appreciate that. It does feel more Star Wars, though.
Yes,
than
absolutely.
Anything else. But, you know, you see the wraparound window there. You know that it's a cargo ship, so it's got the compartments. We saw at least 5 compartments that, you know, could be used for cargo or storage.
Which also comes off the ship and hovers separately, which was kind of odd and
yeah, it
cool.
looked like it auto leveled because the ship was crashed, so it like auto leveled to keep the cargo. Anyway, so I mean, there's some cool elements there. Even the rear of it, you got like these different glowing elements, which I assume are all thrust elements. At least the main rectangular one is. There's some above that as well, which probably not so much. And we don't really get a good sense of scale, although we do see the window. It is kind of hard to get a sense of scale for it. I assume it's not super big. If you look at the inside of the window and compare the outside.
I mean, when they're on the planet and they're on the shore and they're fighting it, you get you get to see most of the ship and you get to see the cargo boat is decom. You know, so it's big-ish, but you know, small ship level. I mean, smaller than Defiant for sure. You know, good. I mean, you know, Millennium Falcon can eat heart outs because they've got more cargo space. And in fact, even like that view, now we see it on a planet, the way it's sort of panelled, kind of looks like the engineer ship from Alien. Kind of that semi-organic texture, but also plain in its own way. You know. But I guess they wanted to go very utilitarian. It feels very plain and simple. You know? It's unremarkably unremarkable, but the inside's kind of nice. But it would be weird if it was anything special, you know.
Yeah. Well, I do like the asymmetrical aspect of
me
it.
too.
Again, that ties back to the Millennium Falcon. I think that's kind of what they were going for.
Yeah, 100%.
Honestly. Even with the cockpit thing on the same side kind of deal.
And can I give credit, as I'm just scrolling through briefly, the CGI in this looks great. They did a great job. The integration of the ship crash and the alien with them on the beautiful, much better than Picard did. Well done them. Really, really good stuff.
We should point out too here that the ship also has a cloaking device, or at least a chameleon device of some sort when it's on the planets.
It was nice because it clearly wasn't a cloaking device so much as more a paneled, like like a more modern day projects the outside on the outside, And a really cool effect. It was not a conventional thing.
Yes.
Which I would
yes.
think, actually, since cloak's been around for, at this point, almost 1,000 years, there's easy ways to detect all the different spectrums of cloak, and so they've got to work out other cloakness. And that's good. That's good.
Yeah, this is more like I said, more like a chameleon thing where it
Yes.
projects the background.
Simpler, almost.
Yeah. Now, I'm not sure it would necessarily work the same in space, but I mean, we have seen it on the planet, and that would make sense for somebody that's doing some illegal activities. You want to hide your ship.
I liked how just like easy it was for it to cloak. Like I just threw that in. So, you can cloak. It's like, oh, cool, sweet, yeah, you can cloak. Although the pew nature of the guns at the start, I mean, not particularly futuristic weapons. They just fire pulse cannons again. I don't know what you would do with that, but again, if you didn't know that scene was the future, you absolutely wouldn't say it was the future. And if you didn't say it was Star Trek, you absolutely wouldn't say it was Star Trek. But this is a universe almost without the Federation, so it makes sense everything feel a bit off kilter.
Just 1 second before we close out, though. Just going back to the interior, though, like where his bed is, that wood detail I think is really great, and it really it grounds it a little bit, and it doesn't feel as cold or maybe clinical as it could. So I really appreciate that. It's actually like this is his home. This is where he lives. So that's great. And hopefully we see more of it and learn a little bit more about it, because it is an interesting design. I just don't think it really fits in the Star Trek realm, unfortunately.
Yeah, the interior is definitely better than the exterior. And I like the hanging down things. No, it's good. And like I say, his revelation of being actually a nice good guy is what we want from Star Trek. That's sort of positive. So it was a good end, and definitely gives you hope for what's coming. Even if it's not the story we want, it might be better than season 2, which would be good. Less plot holes.
Maybe it's the story we need.
That was Lower Deck, Stuart. We had our story we needed.
Gotcha.
This is the story we are being given.
Like it or lump it.
But there you go, guys. Thoroughly mediocre, but a nice interior.
Anyway, guys, until next time, put your comments down below what you guys thought about this ship design, and let us know your thoughts. Also, don't forget to hit like, subscribe. Do the standard routine notification.
It's important, though. It's standard, but it's important.
Absolutely. You guys are the ones that make us go. We keep doing this for you guys, and we create free content for you to all enjoy. So if you can help us out by doing, the like, the subscribe, the notification, all that stuff helps the YouTube algorithm. So please go ahead and do that.
And if you don't make us go, we'll send our giant warships to attack you and harvest all of your ships. Just so you know. That's where you're going, right?
Yes. That's exactly where I was going. You could tell.
But if you want to support us directly, then we do absolutely need that on a weekly, monthly, yearly, bi-yearly, 6-yearly basis. If you only want to give once every 6 years, which will be like now, because we just hit 6 years, then PayPal, Patreon, join the channel, Super Chat, all the great ways. Links down below, of course. But do join our lives and Super Chat your comments, questions, thoughts. We do absolutely want to hear what you think. This is an interesting new show, and it is still Star Trek, and we're still going to follow it and talk about it. So please join in, say hi, Super Chat if you can, and if you can't, just say hi. And then I'll have a great conversation.
That's right. So until next time, guys, I am Captain Foley.
And I'm Conrad. Bye, guys.
See ya.